Wow, Spider-Man 4. I've just left the cinema and I loved it. I really, really loved this movie. I know Marvel has been in a state of disrepair, failing to figure out what to do ever since Endgame, and we all know the back and forth behind the scenes and culture war this attached to it from either side of the aisle on the outside looking in. But they've pulled it out. Tom Holland, he is our Spider-Man. Have you ever seen Peter Parker on screen go from being a high school kid and fully maturing through his now four solo movies and appearances in Cap 3 and a couple of Avengers movies too? We've got so much of him. He's so endearing, and you can tell that Tom Holland really loves being this guy. It was incredible, and I'll be doing spoilers too. So there you go. There's a scene in this movie, like watching him as Peter Parker go through the heartbreak of this, watching MJ and Ned move on without him. It was sad. You know, he he's given him up to protect him after the events of No Way Home, losing Aunt May, and you really feel it. So him going through that journey, and the montage of him solving street level crime was beautiful. Taking on Scorpion and Tombstone and dealing with the Punisher. There were a bunch of other characters in there too. There were so many characters in here. Black Widow, the new Black Widow. Obviously, Frank Castle's in it. Hulk's in it. Bloody Jean Grey is in it. How cool is that? Man, like, I have my theory about the end credit scene too, as it relates to Doomsday. But him going through his like adolescent puberty stage, as the third party exposition was telling us through the documentaries he was watching in his lab about spiders transitioning into their mature form. Him getting the organic webs, I love the organic webs and how OP he is now. He gets Ultra Instinct at the end of this movie. This scene here, he just goes full Goku Ultra Instinct and starts matrixing ninja stars. Oh, it's really cool. And it's quite dark too, like him dripping blood out of his mouth, and man, what a journey. Spider-Man being a bit of a detective and tracking down Jean before we know it's Jean, the shape-shifting possession artist, going through all the people at this wedding and all the way through it, watching him try to track it down and use his onboard computer to map out the abnormal behavior in bystanders. That was cool to watch. And guys, did everyone else get the sads for the MJ scene? I'll see if there's any clips of. There's no clips of it in the trailer. I'll just use this. But when he gets her, when he gets the girl, and they're up at that neon billboard, and they have a kiss, and you think it's true love awakening the curse, and there is a part of you going, really? This is how you're gonna undo it? I'm here for that though, man. Just seeing romance in these movies again instead of the old forehead touch where no one's allowed to show affection to each other anymore. But then having it not be her, having it be Jean possessing her and then sacrificing her. Oh, or attempting to sacrifice her, but he saves her. And then having MJ get to know Peter and not being in love with him. Oh, it's so heartbreaking and yet so inspiring. That funny scene from the trailer, that was good. there's so many cool scenes in this movie. His suit look at this suit. All the iterations of new Spidey have been great. I love the design of Iron Spider. I love the blue suit with the white through it like in the video game, but this suit is like classic Spidey. He is the best superhero we've got. And even through all the strife Marvel's put itself in, the fact they've managed to pull off another amazing Spider-Man movie. And remember when Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man 3 came out, the complaint was it was so overpacked. There were too many villains in it. None of them got flushed out. This had more external characters in it, but they were seamless. They were like on the periphery. The ones that were integrated were sort of smoothly integrated. They were in and out. Yelena's office in the sauna, I thought that was quite funny. I don't have that grudge against her that a lot of the boys that I listen to do. You know, I'm part of the audience of the grifters. A lot of people like to call the guys I like grifters. They're not, but they hate basically everything like this. These web cartridges were cool. How's the web cartridge bomb under the car? He runs out of web, so he shoots the actual cartridge underneath the armored car, and it explodes a giant web underneath it. That was sick. It's like everything you could want for in a movie. Like, it was a real hero's journey. The action scenes were like, as much as we do the, I only care if it's a good story and to hell with the action. It's like, no, it all has to work in tandem, and Spidey web slinging through the city and saving people is half the fun and half the integration of us as the audience wanting to be like Spider-Man and marvel at his exploits on film. How about when the armored car goes flying through the wall and he wraps a web around the armored vehicle in this scene? There it goes through the wall there. He goes on behind it, wraps a bunch of webbing around it, attaches it to the wall so the car flying through kind of is guided down all in a split second. Amazing stuff from Spidey. He does a similar move to Hulk when Banner loses it and goes full enormous Hulk, which was great to see. When Spidey jumps, he gets blown out the window with him, and he wraps around the building and he's using the webs to pin Hulk. And the movie does a good job of showing the webbing, how strong the tensile strength of the web itself. It's like cutting into Hulk's skin, the pressure of it. And obviously Hulk's skin's that invulnerable, it's not going to break through, but pinning him to the wall and then using the falling debris to attach to him, it protects everyone from like a wider displacement of rubble on the ground. I was worried. I was like, how the hell are you going to stop all that concrete killing everyone underneath? But I think they do a good job of conveying story in the action. They tell a little story, like Bruce manages to come through, Spidey manages to break through the Hulk's barrier that's enraging him, and Bruce has got all the concrete tied to him, pulling him out the window, and he lets it happen. And in that frame, you see that while all this commotion was going on of Hulk terrorizing this building, it's given first responders a chance to get to the ground and clear it out. You see as Hulk's falling, they've cordoned off the area. It all happens in just a few frames, but stuff I wouldn't think of attempting to write something of this scale. Manhattan style stuff, that was wicked. Figuring out Jean's powers. Something dark I thought of though with the helicopter, he figures out that when she jumps to possess people, she's got a 33-foot radius, so he pins her up in the helicopter. And I thought, how did she get out of the helicopter to possess MJ? And then it led me to the conclusion, like, she must have just opened the helicopter door and jumped out and let that guy die. Which is dark as. Because Jean is, like, committing horrible villainous actions in this movie. And you get why, what her sister being tortured to death and the VMAX implication, how she sees it on the air conditioner, and you get to put together what it means. Good PG storytelling, like addressing, alluding to, and hinting at really dark, horrible things, and then flushing those out through trusting the audience's interpretive power and dealing with it. You get to see the characters react to it without having to go into the grotesque nature of it. Frank, Punisher is amazing. I think he's really cool he's cool in everything he does. John Bernthal, such good casting having him as Punisher. And at the end when he shoots Spidey, it was like someone turned on the faucet. There was liquid oozing out of my eyes for reasons that I couldn't control. And then having it be like growth for his character as well, like what he's been through, his raison d'etre for why he is the way he is and how he's willing to kill. I feel like we have a turning point for his character too. Willing to kill Jean Grey and having Spidey sacrifice himself for it. This is amazing stuff. These 4 movies, man, I'm about to go on a spree and listen to all the different YouTubers go through their reactions. I'll listen to some of the woke guys. I'll listen to some of the grifters. But I will strongly disagree that this is a bad movie or that it's cope from Marvel. The Spider-Man movies are the best. And they've always been the best. Like, remember when it was Blade, X-Men, and Tobey's Spideys? His movies were better than the others, than the X-Men and everything else. See if I can get a cool shot of him web-slinging. Yeah. And the Andrew Garfield ones, yeah, they we all have our opinion on that. I've talked about that in another video. They don't deserve to be... They're not as good movies, and we feel bad, but the way that he was integrated into No Way Home 2 gives us room to headcanon our way through some things that have happened with him. He's the best character. He's the best superhero. Stan Lee and Steve Ditko, legends for making this character. He is the heart of the hero. Everything that a superhero should be, with powers, with morals, with their internal struggle, with how to be ethical as an enhanced being, and to have him be witty and charming and anxious as Peter too, but he's coming into his own. He went from a kid to an estimate 25 years old, I think, on Ned's board of crazy conspiracy stringing together. He says he's like 20, could be 25 years old, and that matches up. Yeah, this board of insanity. The real story, though, Peter Parker and his journey to get his girl back. I mean, this suit, guys. This suit is beautiful. It's so beautiful. It's actual fabric. You see the indentations from the webs, how they press in on his head and how the fabric rises up and ripples. Like, look at this here. There's a scene where he's flying through the air and you can see the wind billowing under it. Like, it's really tight, but it's not, immortal fabric like the Iron Spider suit. Cinematography, I'm not in a position to be able to be critical or praising of that in like a sense that I know what I'm looking at. I just know that this movie was shot. It lands in my eyes very well. I was eating it up. Look at this. God, that suit is incredible. Oh. What else is there to say? Clearly the X-Men are coming. We all know after Doomsday we're going to get a whole rebooted. I hope I get my wish, which is that after Secret Wars, the multiverse is either collapsed and falls into one timeline, or the multiverse is severed, the connection to it, where it's not just everything's bleeding into everything. It's like the multiverses can exist so we can tell our different stories and leave the door open for crossovers and weirdness if you must, but that it's nigh impossible to do it unless the requisite character can access it, you know, like a Doctor Strange or something like this. And then we can have our restart and hopefully a much more healthy attitude at Disney's Marvel at filmmaking. They say they've learnt their lessons. They made Thunderbolts, and I thought that was a positive sign that they have learnt their lessons from the horrible woke PR shit they did for the last 6 years straight, probably more. A lot of my guys, like EFAPs and Nerdrotics and that, they hate Thunderbolts as well. I don't. I think it's a clear step in the right direction, despite its execution being flawed here. I like the new Avengers. They are a much weaker tier than the OG boys, but it's going to be good in Doomsday to see them all. That's what I was going to say. The end credit scene is the spider tracker. Spider-Man's location, unknown, into space. Surely that's Peter going off to Battleworld or something like this to fight Doctor Doom with the Avengers. Blown away. Beautiful movie. To me, Spider-Man movies are almost a flawless victory in Mortal Kombat. They're so good. Even the bad ones are really good relative to the grand milieu of all superhero content, whether it's, you know, even Spawn and DC and everything else, you know, side independent comics, in Invincible, factor in everything, The Walking Dead, in the whole grand scheme of comic book content, Spider-Man is either good or at its best, the best. I'll wrap it up with that. Spider-Man is Joseph Campbell's hero's journey. He has the heart of the hero. I love him. What a cool superhero. What a great movie. Later.